The man before you is a champion of light. He is part of a conflict between darkness and light that is both ancient and eternal.
Thanks for joining us, and we come to you with new free games from the Epic Games Store. This week, one of those games is Alan Wake American Nightmare, which is presented as a action horror shooter. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit confused by this game. So I know you played the original Alan Wake game.
I did.
So I'm going to ask you to say what you thought about American Nightmare first, and maybe help me understand a few things, because I'm a little bit lost.
Okay. Let's say the American Nightmare is 70 years old now. And there was an original one that was really a horror game. Mm-hmm. And the American story is like, it's really like an arcade.
Okay.
It's like made like as an arcade. So it's got this same graphic, same system with the lights and the guns, but really different.
Maybe what do you mean by the system with the light? Because this I found to be the one unique element or game mechanic that was a little bit interesting.
So you've got the monsters that are afraid of the light, and you've got the like lamps around the world or another lights, and of course the flashlight.
Right.
I think in the this Alan Wake is a little bit shorter. I think in the original you can like put it to monsters a bit longer.
Okay.
But it's more like a horror. But this is like action.
Right. But still, you can only damage the enemies if you have the light on them while shooting. I mean, this was something I hadn't seen in other games, but I do want to know what you thought of this one compared to the original game, because for me, since I hadn't played the original Alan Wake game, I got nothing out of this. Like, it really, to me, I know it was made in 2012 and that's impressive, but to me, playing it today, it felt like a mobile game.
I have to admit that the name American Nightmare is actually the correct name. The game is really Nightmare. It's for the story, because you have to play the story like there's 3 parts, like let's say 3 maps that is somehow connected with the story, and you have to play it 3 times because of the time that changes a little bit. So it's really Nightmare to play, and it could be good, but the like against the original, in the original there was a horror, but you had limited ammo and everything.
Right.
And this is an arcade, so you can always replenish the ammo. It's no use to, you can waste the ammo as much as you want, because there's unlimited ammo.
I mean, I think there are a number of things that make it really strange for me to call it a horror game. And this keeps happening with the games that we play, because I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't like horror, and
but it's okay, because this is not real horror.
We keep getting games that are presented as horror games, and I always think, oh God, I'll have to play it during the day so that I'm not too scared, because I have a very active imagination. I will get scared if there's a scary atmosphere. So far, all the horror games that we've played from Epic, they are not horror games, and this one especially. I think one of the main reasons, and I cannot understand this design decision, every time that enemies like arrive or show up, the camera, you lose control of the camera, and you immediately focus on the enemies. And it's like the game.
Problem with the camera,
but every single time, it's like the game telling you, look, there are enemies over there, get ready. Which is the opposite of a horror game, where you should always be worried about what's in the bushes, what's coming up behind you. And there's none of that.
Let's say the enemies are quite smart. They do get the multiple sides, not only the one. But tell me let's finish it. Yeah, like you think it's a mobile game, so you say it as a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
meaning that it's very simple, does not have a lot of meat on the bones. You are in a more kind of open world. Monsters show up, you shoot them.
That's about it.
That's all. So honestly, I wouldn't say I hated it, but I could not find anything really good to say about it. I don't feel like it's a good use of gaming time.
Well,
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy any moment of it. I didn't feel scared.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like too much annoyed, I have to admit, but I didn't enjoy it.
And the story was not interesting for you. Not for me either.
This is the last thing I wanted to ask, because the story makes no sense to me at all.
It makes no sense to me, but it's a long time I played the original one, so.
I mean, did like the narration and the character.
Well, he's a writer.
Yeah.
And he writes about things, and things started to happen when he writes.
So, since you played the original game, did the narration and the character of Alan Wake kind of make more sense to you in this one?
Yeah.
Because this is also presented as a standalone game that you can play with. I don't think it is.
It
For me,
feels like a DLC for me, because there's really,
I think
especially, well, I didn't like the story, but I did like the arcade mode, and that's like what DLC does. You got actually 10 maps, and you have to unlock them.
like one
at a time,
Okay.
or almost. But the point is that you are in the map. That is, some of them are like from the actual story, some of them outside, and it's full of weapons, full of enemies, and you got 10 minutes to survive before the dawn, before everybody disappears. So this is really good system.
Okay.
You got 10 great maps,
And it's more exciting.
just for the arcade mode. I would say this is worth your time.
I never got to the arcade mode. So,
But for the story, like, if you are really fan of the original one, you might like play it for the nostalgia or something. Maybe.
or
but,
just play the original game again if you enjoyed it.
But for the arcade mode, I got yes, just because
good.
of that.
That's good to know. I mean, so I didn't play the arcade mode, but from the story mode, I would say no, absolutely not. This is not worth your time. At the same time, usually it's $8 or $9 on Steam. Right now it's free. Why not click on it and try it? And especially, it sounds like you should try the arcade mode.
Let's say it's 7 years old, but it's still a great graphic for the time.
Knowing that it's 2012, that's impressive.
It's 2012.
But if we're talking about playing it in 2019, it's not such a great endorsement to say, well, since it's... Anyway, you get the idea.
You get the idea, but I think the shooting system is still interesting, and I think we can agree on that that's the one interesting thing in the game.
It's a different idea, but I still didn't find a lot of value in it for myself.
Okay. But let's go for the arcade mode, because you have you have limited ammo in there. So
this would make more sense.
It's really more horror game in
Right.
the arcade mode than in the story.
Right.
It's strange, but
That is strange.
That's how it is, or that's how we feel it is.
But
if you have
hopefully good for you to know that you should maybe go straight to the arcade mode if you're looking for a horror shooter.
Yeah. That's our opinion, but maybe you have a different opinion, so we would like to know that, so you can leave us a comment.
Yep. And make sure you subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate that. And remember, guys, like, the videos that we release are about games that are free for only 1 week. So click the bell on our channel to make sure you get notifications and don't miss the games that are free.